Hi and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst. In this video, I'm going to take you through Aussie yen. Is the price going to go higher or lower? And the reason why we're talking about Aussie yen is due to a couple of factors in the market at the moment, and this is largely due to the recent sort of fall we've seen today in the stock markets. And obviously we've had some data out today. Out of the US, we had some PPI data which came in significantly positive, and what we've seen is the rise of the US dollar, drop in the stock markets, which is then putting a little bit basically the question is that going to put a bit of pressure on the risk markets? Now, if we actually just quickly move over to the S&P 500, we can see here that the weekly time frame, or what we discussed before, was that with price was going to continue with the risk on sentiment in the market, where we're going to see the stock markets rally up, break into new highs and move higher. Now, if that's the case, then what we would have seen was price probably hold in and around this area and a move to the upside. The only thing that with the market at the moment is that this week there is a lot of data, and that can usually cause a little bit of volatility in the market, which means that there could be more risk involved. And what we might see is the fact that the market may take some of that risk out, or investors may take some of that risk out and put it elsewhere. Now, we've seen quite a significant drop after the numbers today out of the US. Reason being is obviously because of a rise in the PPI data. It is more likely that the Fed are going to announce the increase in their tapering measures. We're probably going to see them hike interest rates further, and that could signal a little bit of downside to the stock markets in the short term. And looking at this market right now, we've just broken and made a new 4-hour lower low. So if we kind of take that into context there and say, well, price could be pushing back down to the lows, then if it does start to create a risk off sentiment in the market, then Aussie yen will react fairly well to that. As we've seen recently, we saw a lot of risk-off sentiment, and Aussie yen dropped significantly as the S&P rallied. We had quite a significant bullish week last week. And if we look at it from a 4-hour point of view, or a daily point of view, I should say, the market has come up back into a resistance zone and started to sell off a little bit. Now, a couple of different factors as well with Aussie yen. If we look at the fact that the risk off sentiment in the market could be increasing slightly due to the amount of data, that could put pressure on this market. However, look at the strength meter for this week. We identified the opportunity for a reversal on Aussie yen due to the fact that the yen is this white line here is starting to push to the downside from the highs, okay, and we've got Aussie, which is this grey line here that's starting to push to the upside. So the strength meter is showing us at the moment that the Australian dollar is gaining strength and the yen is losing strength. So this is why I'm asking the question, Aussie yen higher or lower? And I really think it's going to depend on what the risk sentiment is in the market and what the price action then tells us, because fundamentally the Aussie economy isn't that great, but fundamentally neither is the yen, or the Japanese economy. It's not necessarily doing poorly, the Japanese economy, but they like to keep their rates significantly low, and obviously we have seen a decrease in the price of yen significantly, which is something that they like to see. So looking at it from a sort of strength meter point of view, the strength meter is suggesting that we should be looking for long opportunities. Now, we can also kind of see this in the price action. If we take a look, and I'm just going to zoom in slightly on the daily time frame for a split second. If we zoom right in, look at the price action of this market currently. It doesn't really tell us that strong aggressive sellers are active right now. We've been pretty bearish this whole move down, okay, and you can see that when the market does start to sell off, there are a very aggressive moves forming in the market. Whereas now, if we look at the price action just through here, it's all closing back within each other's range, and the recent buying momentum is suggesting that the reversal is probably a little bit more likely to form here. And what will kind of tip the scale for me for some upside is if we get another impulsive phase higher. Now that may come if price was to break the current day's high, for instance, and we may see a little bit of a move to the upside because of that. If we go to the 4 hour and just zoom back through here and just zoom out a little bit, we can see that price is kind of consolidating in and around a support zone. So this was a previous structure high through there. Price has broken through that. We've come all the way back down. We're retesting that now. I think if price can hold above this sort of 80-50 area and maybe we get another move down and a false breakout, that would be a good signal for the market to potentially start pushing to some upside, okay? Alternatively, if stock markets do considerably drop further and price continues to move to the downside, then there could be an argument that if price trades below 80-50, that could also offer some downside. So for me, I would prefer to see the upside in terms of, I think there is a higher reward to risk ratio with buying, because we obviously saw some aggressive selling coming in at 85-70. So I'd like to see if price could get back to that area. However, if the risk sentiment remains, we could see a little bit of a move to the downside. But strength meter is bullish. Usually the strength meter is a little bit more on the money than most things, so I'm looking for potential upside to this market. So to answer the question, Aussie yen higher or lower, for me, I'm looking for some upside if price can show me that buyers are coming in and around this area, but just be aware that there is a slight risk of a downside breakout. So thanks for watching this video update. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel to see some more of our Forex content, and I'll catch you in the next video.